All right, everyone, welcome back. Ready for another AI deep dive? It's been a wild few days out there in the AI world.
Yeah.
Seriously, a lot going on.
Yeah, definitely not a quiet week, that's for
We're
sure.
talking new model releases, open source projects making some serious noise, and even a whole new way to browse the internet.
Yep, we've been digging through the blogs, the Reddit threads, and especially those developer Discord channels, and there's a lot more to the story than just the headlines.
Exactly, so get ready to go beyond the surface level.
Let's get into it.
Okay, first up, the news that's got everyone buzzing, Claude 3.7 Sonnet.
Yeah, Anthropic is making some pretty big claims with this release, calling it their most advanced model yet.
Oh, for sure. Hybrid reasoning capabilities, extended thinking modes.
Mm-hmm.
And they say it's the best at coding yet.
And everyone's going crazy over that 65% score on Ader's leaderboard.
65%. Wow.
But here's the thing. The non-thinking version actually scored 60% on that same benchmark.
Oh, interesting.
And it's way cheaper to run, so it really makes you wonder, is extended thinking always worth the extra cost?
That is a really good question. And honestly, the chatter on Discord is kind of all over the place on this one.
Yeah.
People seem to love extended thinking for things like planning and debugging. But in agent mode, not so much.
Yeah, I saw that tweet from the Cursor team. Yikes.
Yeah. It sounds like that agent could still be a little unpredictable.
Still some kinks to work out.
Exactly.
But hey, isn't that the case with the new AI, right?
Right. So if you were using Claude 3.7, what tasks would you absolutely want to use that extended thinking for? Let us know in the comments. But before we move on from Anthropic, we got to talk about Claude Code.
Ah, yes, their new coding tool.
Have you gotten a chance to dive into that one yet?
I have, and I gotta say, it's pretty impressive. It uses Claude 3.7's reasoning skills to help developers write code faster, better.
Okay.
And it can even help with debugging.
So like having an AI pair programmer right there in your IDE?
Yeah, something like that. Definitely some serious potential there.
Awesome. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit.
Right.
DeepSeek's Open Source Week.
Okay, now this is big.
Really big.
This could have a major impact on the AI world.
I agree. DeepSeek, they're all about making powerful AI accessible to everyone. And they've been releasing some really impressive open source projects this week. FlashMLA, for example.
Oh, yeah, that one's interesting.
Now, I'll be honest, the technical details are a little over my head.
Yeah.
Something about an optimized decoding kernel for Hopper GPUs.
It's pretty technical, but basically it makes inference insanely fast.
Okay, how fast are we talking?
5 to 10 times faster than traditional methods. And DeepSeek reportedly spent $5.5 million developing it.
Wow.
They're not messing around, are they?
No, not at all. They're building professional-grade tools and just giving them away.
It's pretty incredible. And that's not all. They also released DeepEP.
DeepEP?
Yeah, it's an expert parallel communication library.
Okay, I gotta ask, what is that and why should I care?
Well, when you're training these massive AI models, you have to spread the workload across tons of GPUs, sometimes even entire data centers.
Okay, that makes sense.
To make that work, those processing units need to talk to each other
Right.
really, really fast. And that's where DeepEP comes in. Super optimized communication framework. It can seriously speed up training.
So DeepSeek is basically giving away the secret sauce for training large-scale AI models. That's huge.
It is. This could be a game changer for researchers and developers who don't have the resources of like Google or Microsoft.
For sure. It's amazing to see that kind of open source collaboration happening.
Totally. Speaking of competition,
Oh, yeah?
the IDE battle is really heating up out there.
You're telling me? Ader, Cursor, Windsurf, Kadiem.
It's getting crowded.
It seems like every week there's a new player trying to be the ultimate coding companion.
It's a race to integrate the latest and greatest AI models. And this
Yeah.
week, Cursor might be in the lead.
Because of Claude 3.7.
Yep. People are loving how well it works with Cursor's tools, custom instructions, file management, all that.
Yeah, I saw a demo. It looked super smooth. You can just tell the AI what you want, manage files, and even use those MCP tools to fine-tune the model's behavior.
Really powerful stuff.
But there's always a but, right?
Of course. Cursor still has a few bugs to work out, especially with folder indexing.
That's frustrating.
And the Windsurf users are getting a little restless, waiting for their Claude 3.7 access.
So as always, exciting progress, but with a few bumps along the way.
Exactly.
Okay, before we get too deep into any one thing,
Yeah.
I want to hit on a few other things you don't want to miss.
All right, let's do some quick hits.
Hit me.
First, Qwen has this new reasoning-focused model, QWQ Max. It's in early access, but showing some impressive results.
Okay.
They're even planning mobile apps.
Mobile apps. Wow, interesting.
And then there's Grok 3. It's evolving. It's not just for coding anymore.
Oh, really?
They're expanding the scope, trying to make it more of a general purpose AI.
Interesting. What else?
Replit is now using Claude 3.5 Sonnet and DTP 4.0 for mobile app development.
Oh, wow. That's a big vote of confidence for those models.
Definitely.
What else? What else?
Oh, and MongoDB just acquired Voyage AI.
Okay. MongoDB, the database company.
Right. But Voyage AI specializes in these embedding and re-ranking models. They're crucial for enterprise AI search.
So MongoDB is betting big on the future of AI search.
Big time.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground already.
I know, right? It's crazy how much is happening in AI these days.
It's mind-blowing. But before we get totally overwhelmed,
Yeah.
let's take a step back and think about what it all means.
Let's do it.
What are the big takeaways here? What should our listeners be paying attention to?
That's a great question, and I think there are a few key themes emerging from all of this news.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's unpack it.
Let's unpack it. One of the biggest things that jumps out to me is this move, this shift, I guess, from just building bigger AI models to building smarter ones. It's not about cramming in more parameters anymore. It's about giving these models the ability to reason, to plan, to actually think ahead.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too, like with Claude 3.7's extended thinking modes.
Exactly.
Or QWQ Max, their focus on reasoning.
Mm,
Even Grok 3 becoming this more general-purpose AI.
right.
It's almost like we're leaving the era of just brute force computation and moving into this new era of AI that's about intelligence and understanding.
And it's going hand in hand with developing these specialized tools to actually control that power.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just have a powerful AI model anymore. You need the right tools to harness it.
You're right. That's why we're seeing so many of these AI-powered IDEs popping up. Things like Claude Code for specific tasks. Even open source projects like FlashMLA and DeepEP, giving people the building blocks to create their own AI solutions.
It's like we're going from a world of generic AI hammers to a world of finely crafted AI scalpels, Each one built for a specific purpose.
I like that analogy. And that kind of brings us back to open source, which is another huge theme this week. DeepSeek is really leading the charge here, but they're not the only ones. We're seeing more and more companies embrace open source AI.
Absolutely. Open source is leveling the playing field in AI development.
Yeah, giving smaller companies and startups a fighting chance. Even individual developers can get involved now. It's amazing to see.
And it's fostering this incredible spirit of collaboration and knowledge sharing, which I think is so important for the future of AI.
It really feels like a true community effort, everyone coming together to push the boundaries of what's possible. Speaking of pushing boundaries, we got to talk about Perplexity AI's new browser.
Comet, yeah.
Comet. Have you had a chance to try it out yet?
I have, and it's pretty mind-blowing. They're not just tacking on some AI features to an existing browser. They're building it from the ground up with this focus on what they call agentic search.
Agentic search. Okay, now that sounds really futuristic. What is that exactly?
Imagine a search engine that not only gives you links, but actually understands what you're trying to do and takes actions to help you get there. It could book you a flight, write you an email, maybe even conduct research for you.
Wow, so it's basically a personal assistant, but for the entire internet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they're really pushing the boundaries with things like conversational search. You can actually have a back and forth dialogue with the AI to refine your search.
It's almost like you're collaborating with the AI to reach a goal, not just giving it a command.
Yeah, it's a totally different way of thinking about how we interact with information.
This is big. It feels like we're on the verge of a major transformation in how we access and use information online. But I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We still have a lot to cover.
Right, we do. A couple more things I wanted to mention. QWQ Max, that reasoning-focused model from Quinn, is already making some serious waves, even though it's still in early access.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's impressive that they're achieving this level of performance, and they're committed to open sourcing it too.
Exactly, which again aligns with that trend of open collaboration we've been talking about. It's great to see.
For sure. What was the other thing you wanted to hit on?
This isn't a specific development, but more of an ongoing trend. The blurring of lines between coding and other creative tasks.
Oh yeah, like we were talking about with Replit.
Exactly. They're using AI to empower people to build mobile apps without having to be expert coders.
It's like AI is becoming this bridge between ideas and execution. You don't need to be a coding whiz to make your vision a reality. Just tell the AI what you want, and it can help you translate that into code.
And as AI models become more powerful, this is only going to become more prevalent. It's pretty exciting to think about the possibilities for creators of all kinds.
It really is.
Yeah.
We're entering this new era of incredible creative potential. But, with all this power comes responsibility, right?
Right. As AI becomes more ingrained in our lives, we have to think about the ethical implications and make sure we're using these tools for good.
Absolutely. It's a conversation we need to have now while these technologies are still developing. We need to shape the future of AI in a way that benefits everyone.
Couldn't agree more. I think this is a good place to pause for a moment. We've covered a lot, and it's important to let it all sink in.
Definitely. A lot to process, but also super excited to see how rapidly the world of AI is evolving.
It's just the beginning, you know? The next chapter is still being written, and we're all part of writing it.
Okay, wow. I think we need a moment to catch our breath after all of that.
Yeah, seriously, information overload.
So much going on in AI right now. New models, open source projects, those crazy new tools. It's hard to keep up.
It really is.
So let's take a step back, look at the big picture. What are the key takeaways here? What should our listeners really be focusing on?
I think one of the biggest things is this shift from building bigger models to building smarter models, like we were talking about. It's not about cramming in more parameters anymore. It's about teaching these models to reason, to plan, to think strategically.
Right, like with Claude 3.7 and its extended thinking modes.
Exactly, exactly. And QWQ Max, with its focus on reasoning, it feels like we're moving away from brute force computation and into this new era of AI that's more focused on intelligence and understanding, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And with that shift comes a need for more specialized tools, right? Tools that can help us harness and control all that power.
Absolutely. That's why we're seeing this surge in AI-powered IDEs, things like Claude Code for specific tasks.
And even open source projects like FlashMLA and DeepEP, giving developers the tools to create their own custom AI solutions.
Exactly. And speaking of open source, that's another massive trend we can't ignore.
Oh yeah, open source is changing the game in AI development, big time.
It's really leveling the playing field, giving smaller companies, startups, even individual developers the chance to compete with the giants.
And it's creating this incredible spirit of collaboration, people sharing knowledge and working together to push the boundaries of AI.
Which I think is so important for the future of this technology.
I agree. It's like we're witnessing the democratization of AI, and that's not just limited to building models and tools. It's changing the way we interact with information too, like with Perplexity's new browser. Comet, exactly. The reimagining what search can be with this concept of agentic search, right?
Right. It's not just about finding links anymore. It's about having an AI that understands what you're trying to do and actually takes steps to help you achieve it, like booking a flight or writing an email for you.
It's wild to think about. It's almost like we're moving from passive information consumption to active information engagement.
Yeah, it's a huge shift. And it makes you wonder, what will the future of search look like? What will the future of work look like? How will AI fundamentally change our relationship with technology as a whole?
Big questions, lots to think about. But one thing is clear. AI is transforming the world around us at an incredible pace. And it's not just about the tech itself. It's about the people building it, the people using it, and the impact it's having on all of our lives.
And ultimately, the future of AI is not predetermined. It's something that we're all shaping together through our choices, our actions, and our conversations.
So true. So to you, our listener, I ask, what excites you most about the future of AI? What worries you? What role do you want to play in all of this? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Because the future of AI isn't something that's happening to us. It's something we're all creating together.
And on that note, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of AI for this week.
We hope you found it informative, maybe a little thought-provoking, and hopefully even inspiring.
Definitely a lot to digest, but it's an exciting time to be following all of this.
Absolutely. So until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those big questions.
We'll see you in the next deep dive.